It's been over a year since the 2020 presidential election, and the media still cannot shut up about Donald Trump. You know, it's ironic that the man made his fortune off real estate because now he's living rent-free in the brain space of left-wing politicians and pundits who continue to obsess over him despite his having been out of office for a year. But as pathetic as that is, it's not really hard to understand why, as we come up on the first-year anniversary of Uncle Joe's swing at the plate. The Biden administration has been such an embarrassing failure at everything. His media butt kissers can't even put enough glitter on that turd, so they have to fill their time talking about a president who's been gone for 11 months. Because it's better than talking about the one we've got now. So now here's a question. Just how bad do you have to suck that the guy you supposedly beat is still a more popular topic than you? Well, here's how bad. So now I get why Hillary Clinton can't shut up about Donald Trump. Pretty sure he broke her. I'm surprised she's still not sitting in a corner hugging her knees and watching 2016 DNC runs. But now the media would rather yammer incessantly about Trump. The man who hasn't even stepped foot in the Oval Office since last January, then deal with the dumpster fire that is the Biden administration. Because to talk about current events would prove that the left has absolutely no clue what they're doing, and that putting them in charge of the world's most powerful country was like handing a 3-year-old a box of crayons and expecting him to draw you the Mona Lisa. It's been a year, and this is still what we get from the elites who supposedly bring us the news.
The former president on the phone with the Georgia Secretary of State, asking him to find, really demanding he find 11,780 votes that don't exist.
The same former president this weekend, last night, told an interview on the Fox News channel that he fired the FBI director, James Comey, when he was president, in order to stop FBI investigations that he believed would result in him being removed as president.
Disturbingly, the last administration saw our democracy in crisis with a rogue president who trampled over the guardrails protecting our republic.
Donald Trump and his allies did everything they possibly could, tried every possible avenue to overthrow a democratic election.
His two big promises were to get COVID behind us and to get rid of Donald Trump. COVID's not behind us, and Donald Trump's still lurking.
By now, the media, you would think, would eventually have figured out something else to talk about. I mean, it's not like we haven't had other things going on. Here, I'll help. You could talk about, I don't know, the fact that the price of consumer goods has jumped nearly 7% over the past year, the sharpest increase in the past 4 decades. Now, of course, to do that, though, you'd have to talk about why. Things like shipping problems, a shortage of truckers, and employers struggling to hire enough workers, all of which have been worsened by the Biden administration's total screw-up of the COVID crisis. They're pumping billions of unemployment subsidies and stimulus cash into the economy. They're tyrannical vaccine mandates that are costing businesses money and forcing people to choose between a shot that they don't want and a job that they need. Don't worry, guys, though, because none of that matters, because according to Biden, inflation is totally normal and temporary, and because of COVID, and really a rich people's problem. And it's all Republicans' fault, and spending trillions more on federal programs will absolutely help fix it, and insert today's excuse here. Hopefully all that bullcrap makes you feel better about having to pay more for everything, from houses and cars to groceries, clothing, gas, and Christmas presents. Oh, speaking of gas, you know, the media could talk about how people are paying over $1 more per gallon at the pump, and that's if you're lucky. Now, of course, if you did that, you'd have to talk about how the Biden administration shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, how he's gone to war against the fossil fuel industry and American energy independence to appease the Birkenstock Brigade, and how he's about to start charging gas companies even more to drill for oil on federal land. And guess who those companies are going to pass that cost right on to? Yeah. Hi. So, no gas. Okay. The media could talk about Biden's foreign policy and the unmitigated disaster that's been, but you know, Afghanistan is still a sore spot. Russia looks about ready to invade Ukraine. China's eyeing Taiwan like a dog drooling over a chicken leg. Iran's closer to developing a nuke, and this administration has all the spinal fortitude of a wet spaghetti noodle to do jack diddly about it. So, better steer clear of that. Immigration. After all, Biden promised to fix the Nazi concentration camps that Trump left behind. Yeah. So now our border has more holes than Swiss cheese, more than 1.7 million illegal aliens caught last fiscal year alone. The mayor of Yuma, Arizona, just declared a state of emergency after local border agents caught 6,000 illegal aliens in the span of just 5 days. So we all see how swimmingly that's going. The truth of the matter is that the media cannot shut up about Donald Trump because everything about Joe Biden sucks so hard it would make all of our overpriced eggnog taste bad. This administration has been an abject failure at everything it has touched. We've got a senile president wandering around looking for his lost tube of Polygrip, a vice president who's been about as useful as a fork in a sugar bowl, and a Democrat-controlled Congress that spends its days debating the ethics of Japanese cartoons. Crime in our cities has hit record highs, federal spending is in the stratosphere, and kids are still going to school in face diapers. Absolutely nothing, from the economy to gas prices to the border to our standing on the world stage, is one iota better than it was this time last year. In fact, it's arguably a lot worse. So the left has to keep talking about Trump and the manufactured insurrection because he's still all they've got, because they certainly don't have any answers to this mess. The most frustrating thing is millions of us knew that they never did. And that's your Reality Check America. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube and Rumble pages, like us on Facebook and Twitter. Stay sane out there.